Well, in a world first, an AI replica of the late legendary TV presenter Michael Parkinson has been greenlit by his family.
For more, we're joined by entertainment editor Peter Ford. And Pete, this podcast really has the world talking. What is it?
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating and it's kind of creepy, but it's the future, and the future is now. This whole thing of AI has really crept up on us. And as you mentioned there, the family have not only agreed for this to happen, but they're actually actively involved in it. His son Mike, who was Michael Parkinson's manager for the last 15 years of his life, is fully involved in making this happen. So the podcast will be called Virtually Parkinson, and what it will be is Michael Parkinson, by way of all the voodoo and technology they now have, will be interviewing people, as he always has done. So there'll be some brand new interviews. The questions won't be scripted by anybody other than the AI itself will think the questions to ask the guest. So what happened overnight our time, we had the debut of the first clip of Michael Parkinson talking. Now, what you're about to hear is Michael Parkinson introducing his son and the producer of the podcast series. But Michael Parkinson never said any of this. This is all thanks to AI. Have a look.
Anyway, good to speak to you this morning. See you again in the first episode, which I'm sure will be a delight.
That kind of makes me feel a bit sad, though.
I'm not quite sure how to feel about it.
I know.
It's quite unusual. It will certainly be controversial.
Well, we'll speak to somebody.
So far, reactions are pretty mixed. Some people are saying it's too soon. Other people just don't like the fact you can't let a man's legacy just rest as it is. People are curious as to what Michael himself would think about this. He never actually agreed to do it. It was never in the planning stages when he was still with us. What would he think this makes for the future of journalism? Here he is taking up that space, but it's not really him. So anyway, we shall make a final decision when we actually get to hear the first episode, but Virtually Parkinson is happening.
Wow.
I don't think I like it.
No?
But, I mean, you'd have to think his son knew him better than anybody else, and if
Yeah.
the son thinks it's a good idea... But what if he says something funny? What if he says something controversial? It's not him.
That's right. The controversial thing is interesting, yeah.
So whether it's good or bad, it's irrelevant. I don't like it.
And you're going to see so much more of that too, aren't you, for the dearly departed living
That's
on
right.
in this way?
Paco was his very essence, and I just think if he's not there, it's not him. Like, good job, computer. I don't know.
Well, the thing with Parkinson was why he was so good. He listened. He had the questions there in front of him, but he was also listening to the guest and responding to that. Now, I don't know if the virtual Michael Parkinson will be able to do that.
Okay. Well, there's Oscar buzz for Pamela Anderson this morning.
Yeah, Oscar Buzz Bell, and there he is, and this is great news. We talked about it some weeks ago when this movie had its debut at the Toronto International Film Festival called The Last Showgirl. No trailer available for it yet, unfortunately, only this still, but the people involved in it have actually gone and done various interviews at film festivals. Now, it is going to get a wider release in cinemas in the States, which means it will be eligible for the Oscars next year, but Pamela Anderson herself has actually been nominated as Best Lead Performance in the Gotham Awards. Now, the Gotham Awards are a fairly big deal for independent filmmakers, and they're gender neutral. That's why it's Best Performance. But this is the first time ever that Pamela Anderson has been nominated for anything serious. Yes, she's won Babe of the Year, and she's won a couple of Razzie Awards for the worst performances, but people are saying this is her breakthrough moment, that finally she's going to be taken seriously. Even her own agent, when the script came in, said, oh, she couldn't do that, and sent it back to the director. Now, the director was determined to have her, found a way to get her the script, and she said, please, thank you, when do we start? Fired her agent, and now she's getting all this Oscar buzz. So let's hope that momentum continues.
Yeah, let's hope it does. And Pete, Olympic breakdancer Raygun has called out her critics.
Well, there were plenty of them, weren't there, a few months ago, and everybody suddenly was a breakdancing expert. So I guess Raygun is now saying, well, let's see what you got, because there is a competition that's going to be held where people can win prize money of $5,000 and $10,000 if you think you can do better than Raygun. It's a great gimmick, and Raygun herself has taken to her social media to hype up the competition. Have a look. So you've got to send in your video performance showing you can do better, and hopefully if we can access some of those, we might keep following this story and see if anybody actually does, if Raygun is willing to bow down and say, yeah, you did do better.
To be fair, I don't think that tracksuit did her any favours. back in at the Olympics.
You think the tracksuit's the
I
culprit?
think, no, well, whatever, but seeing that kind of is more the groove.
Would you challenge her, Pete?
No, I won't be challenging her. I'm not good on the kangaroo paw thing.
I'm delighted that we got the impression in any event. Pete, thank you.
Thanks, Pete.